This week on the Honey Break Experience.
Oh, mama! They were about to put their boots on. This one got a little too close. For this week's show, we've got my good friend Scott Corville from Lower Power Sports and his son Alex, and my good friend Mike Corley, who's also a head deer guide here at Honey Break. I had a little opportunity to get these guys in the blind and catch up on some old times. And that decoy, get him. Hey guys, that wind, you gotta lead him just a little bit, even though he's sitting still. Yeah. Cashman said he likes that kind. Well, last year was my first year to take Alex. I believe he's 10 years old now, and he knows his way around that 20 gauge. Here we go. Of course, we'd all try to get him in close, let Alex shoot first. You like them, don't you, Alex? There's some days that we want to shoot them, but today ain't one of them. Get him. Okay.
I was shooting that one. I think I hit it in
I think you did too. I think you got it. You know, Scott, growing up in South Louisiana, hunted a lot of rice fields and marshes and this, that, and the other. He grew up with his dad and grandpa and stuff like that taking him, and so it's good to see that what he's doing with Alex and Taylor, you know, introducing those kids to the outdoors in the right way, and it's about giving back. It's about continuing on traditions. It's about our heritage. You know, letting them be a part of that. Fatback mallard. Y'all get ready. It's not about kill, and what you can take, it's what you can give back and make better for tomorrow. So I gave him the get down call too early. One peeling off coming in, gonna left. He gonna do it. Get him out. Did you see the leaves?
Get it, hey. You gotta put it, how far out front? You got your head all the way down on it?
Mm-hmm.
It's always fun watching a kid and then also watching Scott watching his son.
He normally would kill that dead. All right, warm up, son. Come on, let's go.
So I mean, anytime you can see a father-son combo like that and see the enjoyment the kid has being there and that the dad has sharing that line with that kid that day, that's a big part of what we do.
The Honey Break Experience is brought to you by Bandit, innovations in hunting and outdoor gear. Mojo, if it ain't magic, it ain't mojo. This is the Honey Break Experience.
I thought you got, look, it was out of your zone. When it comes in our zone, we got to take the opportunity.
It takes me a long time to get on the step.
Gotta shoot your zone.
Shoot your zone.
Well, I've known Scott Corville for several years now. I met him years ago when I lived in Alexandria and was in the boat business. His father-in-law owned Lower Power Sports, and after starting out here at Honey Break, wasn't too long after that we realized that we needed to get with Scott and work something out on being our host dealer for all of our ATV needs. So we've been doing that for about 5 years now. It's a great relationship, a great partnership with those guys. They take really, really good care of us. And so when I can, I like to be able to sneak him in on a little duck hunt. This was one of those days that it worked out. Of course, you mind if I bring my son Alex? So bring him on.
I started hunting when I was about 5, and my dad took me to Honey Break once, and I loved it. It was my favorite duck hunt of my life.
Here you go, here you go. There they go. Get him, get him, get him, get him.
Yeah.
Good shot, Alex. It wasn't right for the camera, buddy.
You warmed up now, buddy.
Yes, sir.
Well, Mr. Drew's working hard for you over there.
I'm sweating.
He's working hard for you, son.
Got to come out some of these clothes.
Yeah, it's been about a year since I've been back out at Honey Break, and
All right, I'm ready. Camera, y'all ready?
And you let him get away.
I got my gun here.
Me and Landon's
I'm
gonna
up.
shoot now.
I'm up. I'm ready.
Have you ever said something and right away known that it was probably, as soon as it left your mouth, it wasn't gonna be good? Well, Spoonbill come in and I thought I could take him.
The Smiley comes back. I'm gonna shoot that Smiley. I'm shooting that Smiley. That's my Smiley. I got him. I'm gonna kill him. Come on in here, Smiley.
He picks his gun up, clicks the safety off, and goes, "Diesel!"
Dead bird.
Oh, my.
Boom, boom, boom. The duck just flies off.
Still missed him.
But you called your shot Diesel, that bird.
That was awesome.
Oh, that was a little overconfident.
That absolutely, that was the best miss I ever seen.
A little overconfident.
I'm going to tell you, after I said that and got that beat on him, I said, ain't no way I'm going to.
You pulled in and he got real smart.
Probably should have said that.
He's never gonna live that down.
so I was super pumped that Drew sent me a text and said he had a spot for me and Alex this morning.
Get them them gad balls, get them gad balls, get them gad balls. Uh-oh.
You know, when you have a nice plumage weegeon on there and you know, sprig, pintail, shiny greenhead mallards on that strap, man, it makes it for a colorful bag, and it's really fun when you get a mixed bag like you do out here at Honey Break.
The Honey Break experience is brought to you by Honey Break Lodge and Outfitters, the experience of a lifetime. Gator Tail, taking you places you never thought possible. This is the Honey Break experience.
Just one out front. Right here, guys. Here they come back. Came back. Get him. Hey! Hold on, he's gonna come back. Don't shoot the jack, shoot the pintail. You ready, Alex? Dry him out, dry.
So when I got the text from Drew, I started looking at the forecast, and it looked like it was going to be the coldest morning of the year with a lot of wind. I thought that was going to be really good, make a really good hunt, especially in the first weekend.
Shoot two of them. We got both of them?
And the forecast was true. You know, it was real windy this morning, and it was really chilly, and it worked out great because ducks decoy really good on a windy day. You know, you got all that movement in your decoys, and it works well.
With Mike and I, we probably get to hunt 1 or 2 times a year together because of what we do. He and I have been hunting together for years now, and call very similar to each other. So having him as a, I guess, a combo or a wingman or whatever you want to call it in the blind, he knows what I'm about to blow and I know what he's about to blow. So it's pretty powerful.
Of course, Drew brought him in close. You know, he's got a pretty magical call there.
In a decoy, Get him, boys, Hey! A big, fine bull sprig pintail. Worked right on into the decoy. He was working the group to the left that were locked up coming in and looked up, and it was another big group in the decoys. That the right hand side of the blind had to let me know they was coming. They were about to put their boots on. This one got a little too close.
Honey Break Gun Dog Tip, brought to you by Avery, first and forever.
We get a lot of questions about nutrition, Mr. Joe. Talk to me a little bit about that.
Well, the first thing you want to watch on your dog is its weight. You don't want to let it get overweight. You know, it's not good for the joints. As the dog gets older, the joints will deteriorate faster, you know, if he or she is overweight. Another thing you can look at is the coat. You know, a real shiny coat means that the dog is eating good dog food and it's healthy. And it's very important. You want to feed your dog a good dog food. You know, it's a small investment. Right. So what we do at Champion Retrievers is we feed our dogs that work every day, we feed them 30% protein, and 20% fat. This is a dog that works every day and works hard, you know, so you got to have all that protein and that fat for it to keep up. The 30% protein, it rebuilds the muscles, and the 20% fat keeps them cool.
Because they're athletes.
That's right, they're athletes, and they really work hard. They run hard. They run a lot further than you think in training.
Absolutely, absolutely.
And that's why we use such a good grade. Now, if you have a dog that's not as active as what we used in, you look in the back of the bag, it's going to tell you, you know, the protein content and the fat content, and you go from there. You want to look at the last 3 ribs, and if they just barely show, and your dog is in perfect shape right there, yeah. And like I said, you don't want to keep them heavy because it's not good for them. A fat dog is an unhealthy dog.
Absolutely, absolutely. Yeah. Thank you, Mr. Joe. In the grand scheme of things, dog food's a small investment. Remember, you are what you eat, so feed your dog a good, healthy dog food. And this is your Honey Break Gun Dog Tip of the Week.
Please submit your training questions to our partners at Avery.com. And if we select your question on TV or our website, we'll send you a Banded Avery care package.
For more gun dog tips, head on over to honeybreak.com or find us on Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter.
The Honey Break Experience is brought to you by War Eagle, built for hunters who love to fish. Mossy Oak, it's not a passion, it's an obsession. This is the Honey Break Experience.
Get him, Alex. Get him, Alex. Oh, mama! Hey! Carter. Both of them. One thing that we do is at Honey Break is we draw for blinds, and being the time of season this was, you know, the guides have been out in the field scouting and working blinds and working decoys. So this blind that we were in historically is one of the top blinds that we have, and I couldn't believe when I was last picked and I got to go to that blind. Of course, they're going to say I overrode everybody and picked that blind because I was the boss, but that's not true. I picked last, and sometimes old dog gets a bone every once in a while. Here it go, here it go, here it go. Get him, guys.
That was
Watch your ears, Cody. Hey!
And it's just that location, you know, that location and the type of natural vegetation and things like that are in this area. And it's managed right.
What do like greenhead mallards eat mostly?
What we do out here in the WRP is moist soil management. So we manage for native grasses like Pennsylvania smartweed and yellow sedge and flat sedge. One thing about this property out here is the snails and the invertebrates. They like to eat that. It's really good for them. We got two mallards on the left.
Hold all these questions. Hold your questions.
Okay.
They swung around behind a tree. Hey! How about that floating greenhead in the sunshine? I didn't even shoulder my gun. Way to end up on a big old fat greenhead, boys. Pretty early in the morning before 8 o'clock, and we were done. Had a real good mixed bag, mallards, widgeons, gadwall, pintail, some bull canvasbacks, a few teal. A good Honey Break mixed bag. And the last duck of the day is a big fat pack mallard. Doesn't get any better than that.
That was awesome. My first green head of this season.
Nothing but green, baby. Nothing but green.
Closed caption provided by Avery, First and Forever. Coming up next week.
Big bar belly, white front.
He had the landing gear down.